Hey everybody, this is On Screen, Off Screen, show where I like to talk about our media intake throughout the week, how it impacted our lives, or how our lives impacted how we viewed what we consumed. Uh, this week we have all three of us, which is absolutely awesome. We've got Lauren in the coolest sweater ever. I'm sure Conlon agrees. And Conlon wearing the most gray shirt that has just been a gray shirt. Um, we're going to go ahead
So
and get
what?
started this week with their shared topic. Colin, why don't you go first?
Okay. So first half of the Mighty Nine is it's the follow-up series to Vox Machina, and it is great. Absolutely great. I was gonna say you both should watch this, but Lauren already watched it. Josh, you should watch this. It's really good. I like it better than Vox in basically every way. I think the characters are more interesting. I think the way they come together is more interesting. I think the way they're exploring and developing the characters' magic is more complex, and I just like it a lot. It's a high recommend for me. I think the art looks beautiful. I really love the little what's the small this is a troll? No, it's a goblin. Goblin. What's the goblin
Not,
character's name? Yes.
not the brave.
I love that character. I love the character. I love the idea of whatever mystery is going on behind her life, where she has this alcohol literal addiction where she gets major problems if she's not drinking. Like, it's a cool aspect. She's so gruff because she's had to grow up gruff, but there's moments where she's so kind, like where I don't know why I can't remember any of the characters' names right now. The guy who ends up poisoned in the last episode.
Oh, Ford.
Yes, Ford. Ford ends up so sick, and she just takes care of him, and you see like this motherly kind aspect to her. Lauren has this face like I'm missing something major because she knows all
I
the
just
dirty
know this. I
things.
know everything.
Yeah, I love it. I love the mystery behind it. I love when they're having the conversation of that episode, and she's like, I take care of him. I'm the parent. It's just bravo, people. Like, it's great. That last episode was bonkers good. Like, bonkers good. He does the spell and attaches her to the tree and burns her alive while he's like having a mental breakdown. Insane. So good. I love this series. The my only negative, I wrote this, really my only negative about the show so far is the girl who's like the buff kick
Bo.
butt. Yes, I can only see Sokka. I see a female Sokka every single time I see this character, and it's messing with my brain. I don't like the modeling. It literally bugs me. And then this last episode, you've got the guy who's one of the teachers of the Mage Council, and all I see is the Fire Lord. I'm like, you look exactly like the Fire Lord. Why are you guys copying Avatar? It's messing with my brain, and I don't like it. But other than
Yeah.
that, great show. Oh, that, and then it's a little too sexual. The other show had that too. It'd be better if it was just out of it. Other than
Yeah.
that, banger.
Bo reminds me of Cora.
Yes,
Like
100%. It's Korra, but looks
Cora.
like a female Sokka, and I don't like it.
I actually saw a lot of like bits of Bo that I was like, that was literally Cora. And I knew it from the model, and I was like, I wonder if they have those animators working on this because I know
Maybe.
with Vox they had a lot of Batman
Okay,
animators working on
cool.
Vox. I don't know about Mighty Nine if they transferred them over, but I do know that all of the animators wanted to animate Jester. Everybody just wanted because she's so crazy and has so many facial expressions that they wanted to animate her.
That's
Um,
awesome. I love the part where Ford is in his Vox Machina voice, and he's like, and the voice changes. It was just, they did such a good job.
yeah, it's I really like that. So I watched the campaign,
Cool.
um, and they actually come together kind of the same way, but a little bit differently.
Okay.
Um, but at the very beginning of the campaign, they said that they had a session zero off of camera where we actually get to see what those session zeros were and how the like how Ford and Jester came together, how Not and Caleb came together. Um, I'm just really mad that Ashley's character was only teased and that Ashley's character is not where she's supposed to be right now. And it's pissing me off because she's best friends with Molly. And
Okay.
um she was supposed to be in the campaign. She's one of like the bouncers at the carnival.
Okay.
um and so there's like a whole thing with like Bo and her that was so funny that we missed because she wasn't there. And so I'm directly correlating things. And then there's also another thing with Molly Mux, the tiefling. I really like what they're doing with his character. I get that it's animated, so they can't make him as like intricate as his outerwear is supposed to be. But he's a maximalist. He has things just all over him, and he has like this really gorgeous coat that like they make a big deal about it in the campaign about this coat, and you can't really animate it. But I wish that they would like say something about it and then just like show it just once, not really have to be animated. And he's like, yeah, but I don't wear it or whatever. It's like just an homage or something to
Why
this
couldn't they
coat.
animate it?
Because it's so intricate and
Okay.
has like it would be a nightmare, and I don't wish it on anybody to animate that.
So the
Okay.
answer is they can. It would just be extremely time consuming.
Yeah, yeah, and for a
Wouldn't
TV series,
once you have the character model built, doesn't isn't it significant? Isn't it really not that hard to keep? No,
No.
that's what I'm completely
no.
wrong on that.
No,
Okay.
if
Okay.
like the character, yeah, sure. But with clothes, like when I was designing my characters, I was like, no patterns, no patterns at all. We can't have any lines or stripes because that is a nightmare. So yeah, and this had like peacock feathers, things like that, eyes, all of these things that would have just been like the fact that he has like tattoos and stuff that already would make me want to throw up animating him because you have to like make sure that they're like on the right side every single time and where they are to every single angle of every. Oh, yeah, I'd throw up.
I don't
um,
know why, but when you just said that, I thought of Trump going like, "No patterns, no patterns." It's really funny.
yeah, yeah, I love Mighty Nine. I thought it was way better than Vox Machina. I think the campaign is better than Vox Machina. um, and yeah, I think these characters, you have these characters that I feel like the actors are more comfortable in these characters.
I feel like they're having fun, like a lot of fun with
Mhm.
this.
Yeah, because we have Ford's character who is he's supposed to be like the leader, the one in charge and stuff, but then Jester like outstrengths him, and like everybody keeps like upping him, and that's kind of part of because of the campaign. He kept rolling really low at the very beginning. He was supposed to be like this imposing orc character, and then he just kept rolling really low. And then she's like, "What's your strength?" She's like, "Oh, you're not strong at all." And her character Jester, her character sheet is way stronger than his character. So that's like when he hit that thing and he couldn't get the teddy bear for her, it's just because he is not strong. uh yeah, so like yeah, I love this series. It consumed my life for a while. um I'm excited about the um yeah, I'm excited about this one's TV series a lot more than I am about Vox Machina. Um, except like there's just like so much gold that happens in the campaign that they can't fit into this series. And so I feel like people really need to go back and listen to the actual campaign because it is gold. And like they are going into people like they just spoiled Caleb's thing like in campaign to Mighty Nine, we did not get Caleb's backstory for, I think it was like a year into the campaign. It was
Wow.
insane. So when they just like went right into it, I was like, okay, let's go, I guess. Um, But
It
here's
was
the
really
one
good.
thing that I'm really mad about is Essex art
Why?
is bull. So
Okay.
in the campaign, they had like these great, they had artists make these characters and they have like headshots of these characters so that you can imagine them. And there's so much fan art of this character. And they gave him like this gay swoop that I hate
Okay.
so much. I have like my screensaver on like the back of my phone, which I don't know if I can like I don't know if I can show it because all of my apps are in the way. But it's like literally how I see Essek and how the fan base sees Essek. And then I'm like, why'd you give him an ice cream swoop for his hair? I hate it so much. But I
You
think it is
couldn't
really
blame me
funny.
all.
And I hope they get to this joke real soon that he's the taxi.
Okay.
But that's what I have as my screensaver is he's like in this taxi just like being like so over it and not like licking the window like a dog trying to get inside a house. That's my screensaver. Yeah, I've been obsessed with this series. I ran a campaign. It was a campaign I ran with Josh, Ellie, and Brandon that I used Matt Mercer's. I used this universe, and I kind of
Cool.
like put little teasers of like I had it going on at the same time this campaign was going on. So what they were doing in the world, also the Mighty Nine were doing in the world. And so they'd be like, what the heck happened here? And I was like, what the heck did happen here? Who knows? Maybe if you listen to the campaign.
You would know.
I was like, it'd be a cute little oh, what's that called? Little hint thingy. But
Easter egg.
Easter egg, thank you. Yeah, so I had like a lot of little Easter eggs of the Mighty Nine in that campaign, and they did not care. But yeah, I love this series. I love these characters. I've done some art of Jester, and I've done some art of Essek. Um, but I think, oh, and Caduceus. I love Caduceus, but you don't know who that is yet.
No.
So he's great. Um,
I'm super impressed with how good Jester is because, like, she could easily be super annoying, easily,
and like
but she's
throughout,
so uplifting.
I'm so excited for this because like um, the character development that all of these characters go through. And I've been watching this TikTok of this person who she has been cosplaying as Caleb, and she's just been doing like sound bites from the campaign. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I forget how funny Caleb is. He's hilarious. Yeah, I'm really excited to have you watch more of
I'm
this
super pumped.
so we can
Like,
talk more.
I've been so impressed with this. Is Critter is Vox Machina completely done? Because when it was over, I was like, oh, there's going to be another season, and I
Yeah, I don't know about the animated series if it's completely over, but they
okay.
definitely diverged from canon, and
Oh,
I was really angry, especially how
okay.
they left it, if they left it. So I
Yeah.
wonder if a lot of other people felt the same way, and so it ended. Um,
Okay.
and that would be unfortunate,
Yeah.
because that's not how the campaign ends. Uh,
Well, and it ends better than that. I didn't
oh
mind
yeah,
it, but it just kind of felt like it wasn't done to me.
oh yeah, no, there's like they haven't even got to Vecna, so um, yeah. There's other like characters and stuff that come along as well that yeah, it's not over nearly over compared to the campaign because technically it wraps up with Vox Machina and then like within the same I think it's like 5 years after the ending of Vox Machina, Mighty Nine happens, but Mighty
Oh,
Nine
cool.
is happening on a different continent, which is why can't I think of what their continent is called? But Vox Machina is in Taldori, and then the Mighty Nine are in um I even have a map of it somewhere. But
If this isn't too spoilery, do they connect?
kind
Like,
of.
do they influence each other? Kind of. Okay.
Yes, they
Okay.
do. That's a big gag in the Mighty Nine campaign because they're always like, who's on the Tal'Dorei Council? Because they know who's on the Tal'Dorei Council, but then like those characters are always like asking about basically their other characters the entire time, and it's a really funny gag that I love. Um, but yeah,
It's
I do like the animated series. I do think if people love the animated series, you should definitely go listen to the campaign. It is it's better, but for an adaptation, this is great. I like this way more than Vox Machina's adaptation.
me. I mean, I don't know about the adaptation, but I think this is a more impressive start to the show for sure.
Yeah.
I liked the first season of Vox. I thought it was good, but I didn't love it. I liked it. I had a good time with it. Enough that I could get to a second season where I thought they just improved and improved and improved. And this is every episode feels like the best of Vox. Like it's that level every single episode. It looks like they are doing a fifth season. It will be the last season. It comes out next summer. Um, why does this? So D&D obviously means a lot to you. You get passionate about it. The way you were just talking about this in particular, like you have a lot of passion, a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Why does this grab you so much? Tell us a little bit about that.
Like how D&D or Mighty Nine specifically?
D&D and then these type of like D&D podcasts, like you get really into them. Why do you think you get into them so much?
I used to get into them, and then I feel like a lot of people just started making it be too racy, and like
Okay.
being like, I am gay and that's okay. And I'm like, yeah, that is okay. But like, do we have to have do we have to have that be the defining thing about your character? Um, and so that's where I started going off on the D&D campaigns as much. But I love D&D because I especially love like running it with friends and things because when they create their characters, if they create characters they love, like you get to see a side of like your friends that they're not afraid because they can put it towards this character.
That's
Um,
cool.
and then you get to, yeah, Josh.
Expound on that. What side of me did you get to see me? What
Oh, this is
changed? What
very
did you see about
interesting.
me?
Yes. Okay. Okay. So I did not know Josh, and I wanted to play D&D, and I told my friend Ellie, I was like, I need to play D&D. I want to play D&D. I just moved into this new area. Please play D&D with me. Because also this is a way for me to. I'm a creative, and this is a way that I can put my story ideas into motion and that's very fun that I don't have to like write out every single thing because it gets very tedious writing. But when you explain it and then you have other people like helping you with this story and morphing this story, it's so much better. Um, so I was begging Ellie to find somebody to play D&D with us because I was like, 4 people is perfect. And she's like, oh yeah, Josh, he can play with us.
I was the 11th option, just for the
Were you?
record. Yeah. Uh, both of Brandon's other friends that he does karate with, Noah and Michael, were like their number one picks, but they didn't have time. They went
I'm
through
very
quite a
glad.
few options before they got to me.
I'm very glad that none of those worked out. So yeah, I remember remember texting Josh and I was like, you can meet me at my apartment if you're comfortable with it. I'm like, I'm not a crazy person, I promise. And so he shows up and I take him to my little studio apartment and I was like, okay, so this is what like Ellie and Brandon were thinking of making. I'm like, don't worry about what they are. We can make things work. And he's like, so do we need a healer? And I was like, no, not necessarily. You can work around that. He's like, so we need a healer. I was like, no, I don't want you to feel like you're pigeonholed into a healer right now. I was like, I just want you to make a character that you want to make. But honestly, I was like very impressed when he was like, yeah, no, I want to be like a support character, the healer. I want to be something that like levels out everybody else. I want to make sure that like we're covered. And I was like, a lot of people would just be like, oh, sure, I'm just going to go with what I want. Everybody else be damned, you know? And then it was like very interesting, like with Josh's character throughout the whole thing, he was very much like supporting the rest of everybody else, which, like, as a DM, is a freaking gift because when, yeah.
You mean when I wasn't pissing you off and carrying the whole team on my back?
You mean with your spirit guardians pissing me
Absolutely.
off? I always forgot he had spirit guardians up, and it wrecked me every single time. So I just started pretending like he's like they're up, and I was like, okay, so they have 50 more hit points now because this has to go longer. But yeah, it was like it was really fun to do it that way because when you have too many people trying to be the main character in the campaign, which I very much try to have an arc for everybody's character so they do feel like they're the main character. But if you just have somebody who's constantly bullying over everybody and they're in everybody's conversation and they're always in everybody's makes you so angry. So like I loved that like Josh definitely had like a plan with his character and but like you could see that he was the one that was sitting there and like supporting everybody else, which is like very much a Josh thing to do. Like he's always supporting all of his friends, always like checking in with everybody. And like that's what his character was. It was like this healer that was helping everybody. And there was like one character who died and like he made it so that he's like I just figured they'd be like, okay, yeah, we bury him the end. And like Josh was like, no, I'm gonna like take him to the sea where he wanted to be. I'm gonna like make this grave. And then he like committed to it. And he's like, yeah, every year he's going back to there and like making sure that this thing. And I was like, that's what makes us beautiful. I love D&D. I felt really bad about killing that character, but I also think that it was like a great moment in the campaign. But I felt so bad because Brandon was sad. And he like told me the next week, he's like, I was really sad about that. And I was like, yes, it's working. I'm so sorry. Yes. um, yeah, you're just like get to make stories with your friends and like that's so fun to me. Um, and you can pretend to be somebody that you wish you were, which you might already be because that's who you want to be and maybe you're falling short, but I don't know. I think it's great to pretend and play. I think it's great.
I love that. That is the best explanation of D&D and like why it's great that I've ever heard, and we should absolutely clip that and share it everywhere and get more people to play D&D. I've never I've never taken it that deep. Like you're seeing the aspects of Josh that you're seeing and the way that you're describing it was fantastic because you're absolutely right. Josh is a caring, he is a natural healer for sure, without a doubt. And he brings people together and he loves people and he is that person.
And
And
plus,
there's
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's wild how different our experiences were.
That's because I was a DM and I knew everything.
Well, our experiences and our memories of all those events, how different those were. Uh, just for perspective, when I first met Lauren, I was like, this is weird. I'm awkward. I hope I don't make her feel weird. I'm just this guy that Brandon knows, and Brandon isn't even here, and I'm just showing up. So I was just trying to be like, oh, your apartment's so nice. Like, that's so
Not.
cool. And,
Or was not
oh,
nice.
what a great dog you have. And, like, she's like, what kind of character do you want to play? And I was like, oh, I was really excited about playing a rogue, being sneaky and stuff. And Lauren was like, oh, well, Ellie's actually already a rogue, but that's totally fine if you want to do it. And I'm like, oh, well, like, if Ellie's already a rogue, like, what do we need? What are we missing? And she's like, well, we don't really have a healer. And I was like, okay, I'll be a healer. And then I think that's where your memory kicks in, where you were like, no, you can do whatever you want. But I was like, well, if we need a healer, I'll be a healer. Like,
I was
no
really
point
hoping
in
you would
mini
be a healer.
rogues. Yeah, it's like, okay, that's fine. I'm still, like, let's not cause any problems. Let's go through this, right? And then we fast forward a little bit, and, like, she saw a side of me when she introduced what was supposed to be my love interest, but I just became bitter and, like, cold, and, like, she's the worst human being I've ever met in my entire life.
I was so bad.
Um, she gave me another love interest that Brandon just stole.
I gave you 3 love interests.
We get to the end, and, like, Lauren's like, oh, this is such a touching moment with Josh, and, like, he gets to go back, and, Brandon's character had died, and he's doing so nice. I was so bitter at that point in the campaign because we'd gotten to this fight, and, like, Brandon's character was about to die, and I was like, I jump in the way and I take the hit. And then we had a 15-minute conversation with Brandon where he was like, I don't know if I want to. I really love Title. And, like, but if we need to. And I was like, I sacrificed myself. I should die in this moment. That's and, we kept going off about whether or not Brandon should take the hit. And I was sitting here like, 6 seconds has passed. I've already taken the hit, please. And then we just decided that Brandon was taking the hit. And I was like, okay, whatever. I guess I can't die.
So what happened was Brandon's character, I rolled a hit that was going to kill his character, but I didn't want to dissuade Brandon from not wanting to play D&D anymore. So I was like, Brandon, if you are willing to let somebody else, like, it has to be a player character that has to swap lives for you. It can't be another NPC that's, like, traveling with you. It has to be another player character. And so Josh is like, I'll do it. And then Brandon's like, no. And so that's where that came in, to where, Josh wanted to kill his character instead of Title. But Brandon couldn't stand, like, killing off anybody else's character, so he took the bullet.
Yeah, but Brandon's character
DM move.
should have lived. He had a life, and I was just like, I'm going to be a loner. Anyway, yeah, it's just a different experience that we had. That was one where I felt like I was a little bit steamrolled. But it was good. We were nearing the end. I got to have my Aragorn moment because of it. I got to be a little bit of a badass because, like, there's good things that came out of it. I was probably my most bitter session that we walked out of.
I think everybody was a little emotional, but that's, like, honestly, like, even though it was kind of like you were bitter, Brandon was sad, I felt like, oops, did I ruin everything? Like, the fact that I got all of you guys to care so much was such a huge win to me. So.
Yeah. Okay, well, here's a question for you guys, both of you, to kind of, like, steer back to what we were a little bit more originally talking about. Brant or Conlon, does this make you want to listen to the Mighty Nine podcast at all?
I am conflicted because Lawrence talked about this before, where you have, like, an anime and part of the anime is out and you're like, I know those books and I want to read it. And, like, Primal Hunter right now, all the books aren't out, but I know that I can read them online, so I kept reading. And I've done that before a lot. But it's also nice to just be part of a community and enjoy the surprise of it. So, like, do I want season 2 to be spoiled because I just listened to the whole thing? Kind of, because I want to listen to the whole thing. But I also think it'd be really cool to just follow along and watch the show. I'm very split. I don't know.
So let's say you finish the series. Would you be compelled to then listen to the campaign?
Absolutely. Yes, for sure. Without a doubt. Like, whenever
What
they
if the
finish Vox
what if
Machina, I
season
will
2 is
probably listen to it.
terrible?
If Lauren's like they just screwed it up, they didn't adapt it right, I would be like, okay, cool. I'll just go listen to the podcast. That's awesome. No problem at all. I'm curious. Is the podcast as crude? Because there's a lot of in both shows. There's quite a bit of sex.
No.
Okay,
So
cool. I would
they'll
like that better.
they fade to black
Okay,
on the podcast if they do get to that. I think there might be some crude humor. Actually, let me roll that back. Jester is very crude, actually.
Okay. Okay.
She makes a lot of dick jokes. Um, but other than that, there's no sexy scenes or anything. It would fade to black. They don't go into that.
Okay. Okay. Cool. That makes me even more interested in listening to the podcast. Honestly.
Yeah, so that's why it's so funny because I listened to all of Vox Machina and then I watch the series and I was like, whoa, whoa. I'm like, they
Yeah.
animated that.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So, Laura, my question for you is: does this motivate you to listen to Campaign 4 at all? Or
No.
okay,
I would, because the thing is I actually listened to Campaign 2, The Mighty Nine, while it was coming out. Um,
Cool.
like, I think I was, episode 23 episodes had been out, and I started listening to it weekly as it came out. And that was an awesome experience. I don't know about, the third, I I kept up with it, and then I couldn't keep up with it. And I have no desire to go back to it. I think Mighty Nine's just my favorite.
okay. So
So
the new campaign, the fourth one, isn't. You're not curious to try it?
I might when it all comes out because like I don't know that I don't have that attention span I had with Mighty Nine of waiting weekly for it. Um yeah. But I did do a lot of animatics and stuff too, Mighty Nine, because there was things like that, and they had um these you would submit your portrait, your pictures or whatever, your fan art, and they would have the fan art of the week show up on their episodes and stuff, so that would keep you engaged and stuff. But yeah, i I don't know that I don't know that I would watch Campaign 4.
Okay, fair enough. I was just curious because normally when I get this into something, like you guys seem to be about Mighty Nine, I'm usually like, okay, well, what are they doing now? You know?
Mm. I might re-listen to Campaign 2 actually.
Okay.
It's making me want to do that, but I'm more of a revisitor than a need new, unless it's fan fiction stuff, but I see that as revisitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard not the best things about Campaign 3 from
Mm.
other people who are into this too. But I haven't heard anything about Campaign 4. I don't know if it's good. I know nothing about it.
It's fairly new. I don't even think they've split off into their individual sessions yet. So, because
Okay.
it's a big combination of 12 players or something. So they're going to have people coming in and out of the podcast. And right now, I think the only thing out is their session 0, where they're introducing everybody and introducing everybody's characters
Oh.
and splitting off into different groups. So I don't really know, though. I haven't actually watched it. I am interested in it. It is Brendan Lee Mulligan as the DM this time. That is what is most compelling to me. Because Matt Mercer as a player is not something I've seen before. And Brendan Lee Mulligan's a really funny, interesting guy. And I'm sure he's going to do a great job. With that, I will go ahead and change topics though. This one will probably be quite a bit shorter. I've been comfort watching the Harry Potter movies and brought this up to some people, and they have all said the same thing like, really? You hate Harry Potter? And I'm like, yeah, Harry Potter does suck. You're absolutely right. But I have been overly harsh on it. Um, Specifically, the first movie, a lot of people would complain that the acting isn't good. I don't actually have any problem with the acting. I actually think it's really good. I think the problem is the writing is bad, the world is bad, the magic system is bad, all of the complaints that I've had before.
Mhm.
Still very much true to this day. I do think that my distaste for Harry Potter comes from the outside world and how Potterheads just can't take criticism of it. Like, they feel so compelled to tell you that you're wrong for disliking it, and it's so extreme. Like, Star Wars diehards aren't as extreme as Harry Potter diehards. Um,
I agree.
just as an example, I was once talking to an old roommate of mine, and it was right around Hogwarts Legacy coming out. And I was like, is it actually good? You know, because the writing in the books and movies are just bad. And his new roommate comes storming out of his room and goes, how dare you? And just like proceeds to tell me off for disliking Harry Potter. And that has been generally my experience with any set kind of criticism of Harry Potter. Like, the only one I think Harry Potter people agree with is like J.K. Rowling is not the best human being. And that's not even a criticism of the book or world or anything. Like, I'm sorry, the writing in these books are not original. They're not good. They're very poorly written. This shouldn't have been as successful as it is. All that being said, it was still a heavily influential time of my childhood. All the movies were coming out. It was a big thing. Get to know you games in school were even like, which house are you in and why? And I hate get to know you games. They're stupid, but like that existed in my life. Um, it is a series that like I could get the whole family, or we could, as an entire family, could watch. Um, I've talked to before about certain movies that I can connect with my sisters or my brothers or like my mom, but not anything that like the whole family would watch. And I have to admit, Harry Potter is one of those movies, or series of movies that I could actually get like the whole family would be into going or watching. Um, so I have been a little bit harsh. I would acknowledge that the acting wasn't good, but now upon rewatching it, I actually think the acting is good. Um, I've this year coming back to it. I do get that the movie gives the sense of wonder, specifically when they're on the boats going to the castle and like that magical moment. Like they do a really good job with that. Um, the last thing is like I think the first movie looks better than the second movie. Um, Specifically in the second movie, I never noticed it before, but the Phoenix sitting behind Harry Potter at the end when he's talking to Professor whatever his name is,
Albus Dumbledore.
Dumbledore. Um, it looks like it's made out of plaster, and it like makes the most uncomfortable movements any animal has ever made, and it was just bothering the heck out of me. And I was
Are you
like,
telling me they didn't get a real phoenix for that?
I'm just saying it didn't
Ridiculous.
look as magical as I remembered it looking. Um, the first one has a lot of really good special effects. It's got the chess scene, which I think is one of the better scenes in all of Harry Potter in terms of like
Oh
effects and
no!
stuff. And then the second one has like what I thought was cool, the basilisk, but when I actually watched it, I was like, no, that kind of looks plastic and kind of stupid. Um, it's still pretty good, especially for the time. You know, the first one came out in 2001. Like for the time, they still look good. I'm not saying that they look terrible, but like my memory of what they looked like was at a higher standard than what it actually looks like. The first one excluded, because the first one I do think looks really, really good. Um, I've gotten through the third one. I still think the third one is the best. Um,
It's
it's
because you haven't gotten to the fourth one.
No, the fourth one is the worst. I will die on this hill. The fourth one is the worst movie. It is the worst story. It is the worst plot. It is so stupid on so many levels.
I've
Yeah,
actually paused on watching the fourth one as we speak.
it's so like, I,
Oh, I
it's
love
a
it.
fun one. The games is a
Mhm.
good idea. Some of the effects in it, if I'm remembering correctly, look really, really good. Um, they do get better as actors, and I think the fourth one is where they hit their stride. Um, you know, the third one is really, really good. I do
Makes the
think that
third
they
one.
still continue getting better. Um,
They do.
so the fourth and fifth one, their acting I think is at its best. Um, but man, the whole story and plot and interactions with characters, like the Yule Ball is cute,
Is bad.
but like the whole Harry Potter having to find a date. You're telling me Harry Potter, the most famous wizard in the entire universe, is struggling to find a date, as if there wasn't a whole line of women who wouldn't be lining up just to like talk to this guy? I don't think so.
Okay, but like there was that scene that I was just watching that made me laugh so hard because he like goes up and it's a group of girls and he's like, "Why do they flock together? It makes it so hard to ask one."
Yes, but my point is, if Harry Potter was a real person, he would have been asked and wouldn't have been put in that situation. Like,
For sure.
he
Without a
would have been
doubt,
asked
yes.
by somebody and would have been like, yeah, sure, and went and gone and had a good time, and it wouldn't have been a big thing. Uh, for me, the funny part is Ron and his date, because it's like built up, and then he's just like this boring guy that reminds me of middle school when you go to the stake dances and the guy's like sitting in the corner, and you
Yeah,
know
he
that
was
all the girls
awful.
want to dance with that guy, but he's just like too cool or bored or whatever, doesn't want to be there, so he just doesn't. Like, that's what that reminds me of. That's really funny. It has its moments, but overall, like, the fourth is just the most incomplete, like, awkward, weird plot stuff that happens, and the fact that it's most people's favorite movie is just
Excuse
wild to
me.
me. Um, but I will
I
still
agree,
watch it.
Josh.
I will still watch it.
Maybe I
Um,
need to rewatch the first one because I remember the first one being basically unwatchable, but otherwise the fourth one was the worst. But man, I don't like the first book, and I've watched the first movie in such a long time that I can't say, but I remember it being awful.
I would just kind of go along with people, but I was talking with my mom about it a while ago, and she's like, "I like the first one. It's cute, and it's the only one that like makes you feel that magic wonder." And she's right. Like, it makes you feel the magic wonder. Harry Potter is discovering this world. They are just cute kids. They are 11 years old. They are experiencing this stuff and introducing it to us for the first time. And, they go and they buy the owl. And I have that quote from Brendan Lee Mulligan talking about how it's the most animal cruelty thing because they can just evaporate and go anywhere at any time. And they're still sending letters and all of those things. Like, it's still an enjoyable experience. Like, I still will die on this hill. The writing in Harry Potter is bad, but for me, it is a comfort nostalgia thing only, and so I will still watch them for that reason alone.
Oh, which begs the question: what house are you?
Stupid.
No.
I would probably be put in Hufflepuff because they wouldn't know where else to put me, and that seems to be like the okay, he doesn't really they don't really fit into any of the other three, so you get all the rejects. So that's probably where I
Really?
would
You
end up.
wouldn't think Ravenclaw?
No, because I'm not enough of a book person. I'm not
I
enough
don't,
of an intellectual person.
but I think you're curious enough. Like that's why I was surprised. That's your favorite common room in Hogwarts Legacy, anyway.
If I got to pick, it would be Ravenclaw. But I also think
Okay.
that if I was in Ravenclaw, I would be the Ravenclaw that was flunking all the classes, because that's what my history with school would say, is that I'm just not a good student. So, um, if I had to
Okay.
pick, it would be Ravenclaw because Hufflepuff is all the weirdos. But since the Sorting Hat does, it would be like, well, Josh is kind of brave, but he also has some anxiety, so he doesn't fit Gryffindor. He's not really douchey enough to be a Slytherin, but he has some of those traits too. He's intellectual, but he's not really intellectual enough to be a Ravenclaw. So we're gonna shove him in Hufflepuff because that's just like what's left over. And I feel like that's how she wrote it. She's like, okay, so these guys are gonna be these kinds of things, and they're so hyper focused on like the traits that make them those, that it's like, okay, well, what about everybody else? And she's like, okay, well, Hufflepuff, I guess. Just everybody else. Just the accumulation of everybody who doesn't fit into one of the other houses, Hufflepuff. And I feel like that's where I'd end up.
Okay, Conlon, what house are you?
Oh, probably Raven, honestly. But I've never thought about this because I disdain this stupid question. One of the things I don't like about it is like Slytherin, bad guys, Gryffindor, good guys. Everybody else could just kind of saw it off. Who cares? I don't know. That's I don't know. Anyway, how would
Let
you guys?
me ask you, Lauren, what house are you in?
Hufflepuff.
Yeah,
What house
I
would you
figured
place
that.
me in?
I would put you in Ravenclaw.
What house would you put Conlon in?
Slytherin.
I was thinking the same
Okay,
thing.
so here's the thing, because ambition, not because I don't see Slytherin as bad. I don't see Gryffindor as good, even though that's how the books do portray them.
100%. Yeah.
But Slytherin is like ambitious, doesn't care what, kind of like doesn't need anybody's.
External validation.
Yeah, there we go.
That's fair.
I say Ravenclaw for Josh because he is curious, and like I swear if I talk about any topic, he has somewhat of knowledge about it. And so I'm like, how? So that's why I would think that you're, especially if Ravenclaw's worked on cars. Definitely ace that class.
I
Automotive.
definitely think Gearheads would be in Hufflepuff.
And then Hufflepuffs I leave for like people who are loyal and like they're the people that kind of
Isn't Gryffindor their defining trait, like loyalty?
no, courage is Gryffindor. Courage, daring, adventure is kind of what theirs is. Hufflepuff is loyalty and can't remember. It's basically just loyalty.
Hufflepuff values hard work, loyalty, patience, and fair play.
Yep.
Ravenclaw values intelligence, wit, wisdom, and creativity. Slytherin values ambition, cunning, resourcefulness, and a drive for greatness. Gryffindor values courage, daring, and chivalry.
Yeah, I took the Pottermore quiz and they told me I was a Slytherin and I threw my computer. I was like, I am a Hufflepuff, dang it.
Josh, you were 100% right. 100% right. So intense. That's crazy.
What happened?
Oh, it's
With the
nothing.
whole
Just a reaction to people who like
Potterheads
Harry
or-
Potter. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. It's wild, right? Anyway, how would you rate the movies? Best to worst.
3 is the best. 1 is the second best. Then I would go 5, 6, 2, 7, 1, 4.
Okay.
4, 3, 5, 1, 2, 7, 6.
Okay. Mine's 6, 7. Oh no, 6, 3, 7, 2, 5, 1, 4. Or 4, 1. 1, 4. One of those two. Yeah. That's pretty cool. We were all really, really different.
We're all over.
Way, way different.
So out of the 3 of us, we love Harry Potter equally.
Oh, I'm
Throughout
sure.
the series.
Well,
Exactly.
we all had 4 towards the end, and we all had 3 towards the top.
Did
Um,
we? I
yeah.
believe my fourth was my second.
Oh, you said 4 first or second. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Never mind. I stand corrected. I think 3 was all towards the top for us, though.
Yeah. Three.
Yeah,
Three.
three's easily one of the best.
Yeah.
Easily.
It's wild that the general population doesn't see it that way, but that's fine.
Has a freaking hippogriff in it. It's the best.
Which, oh my gosh, special effects. That scene with the hippogriff over the lake looks so
Oh,
good.
yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
phenomenal. Like, what were they even doing back then? Why does that look better
They
than
had a
what is
hippogriff,
supposed to look good
is what
in
I
this day and
believe.
age? It's wild.
They just owned a hippogriff. They threw Daniel
That's
Radcliffe
real
on
footage.
it. It's real footage.
Okay, enough of Harry Potter because I've given it as much attention as I can absolutely bear because I still don't think it deserves as much love as it gets. Conlon, you've got one last topic for us. What you got?
Ballerina. It is the John Wick side quest, and have you guys both seen John Wick?
Just
No.
the first one.
Okay, so the fourth John Wick has been my favorite action scenes of all time. He gets a shotgun, and it like goes above the house where he's clearing it out, and the shotgun has dragon breath ammo in it. So when it shoots, it blows up in fire, and it is awesome. It is the only time in a movie theater that I have literally been an obnoxious person and been like, "Hell yeah!" and I yelled out in the theater. Like I felt dumb after I did it, to be honest. But it was just so cool. It was so cool. In this one, they try to copy that with a flamethrower, and it also is really cool. But I'm like, it's not as cool as that shotgun thing you did. You're not beating that because that was the sickest thing I've ever seen. The action set pieces are amazing. This movie is actually pretty good, but the problem is you're comparing it to John Wick, which is one of the most badass things ever created, period. It's amazing. And they do a good job with a lot of it, but it feels like you've seen everything before because you have. It's made by the same directors, and it was done better when Keanu Reeves did everything that you're seeing here. I like the story. Basically, the main girl, she somebody comes to kill her father. She gets adopted by this group of assassins, and then as she gets older, she figures out who the group was that killed her father, and she's off to kill them and save a little girl who's going to be adopted, who's going to be taken just like she was attempted to be taken. And she goes and tries to save this little girl. It's a good little story. Everything in it is well done, but everything in it you feel like you've seen before in John Wick. Part of the reason I decided to bring this up, I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about this, but my my little brother committed suicide, and I for a long time was kind of like traumatic about guns, and I didn't go around guns, and I didn't touch guns. Um, and John Wick, Keanu Reeves did a ton of training to do John Wick Chapter 4 and John Wick in general. He went through speed shooting training, and I got to where I was just watching the videos of him practicing over and over and over again. And I would see him clear the courses, and he literally adapted a technique where he like flips out the cartridge and puts a new one in that actual speed shooters use now. And he developed it for this movie. He made a group of shooters better. That's how impressive he is with this. But because I was watching them over and over again, I actually started shooting again. And literally for years, like 5, 6, 7 years, I didn't touch a gun. My dad would want to go shooting with me, and I was like, I'm sorry, I just don't want to. And it's because of John Wick. I love these movies. I get the criticisms of them. I understand it, but I really enjoy them. I enjoy all of them, and they did make an impact on my life.
Yeah. I love how, like, people see John Wick, they'd never know that that's how that impacted you. You know, like, people are like, oh, yeah, that's the guy who goes crazy for his dog. Um, but I think it's cool that you can get something from that out of, like, that's why I just like art, love art and media, because you don't know what's going to speak to somebody. And I love that that spoke to you. I love that that helped you. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I'm probably the only person in the world that had a trauma healing from John Wick, but I did have some, and it was a. I'm grateful, but yeah, yeah.
That's good. Is was it just specifically one John Wick movie, or is it like the series of you watching it?
Just it was mostly the outside aspect of Keanu's training. Like I would watch the videos over and over and over again because I thought it was so
Mhm.
cool, and it made me want to do speed shooting because it's crazy impressive. It just got me interested in that whole aspect of my life that I basically largely abandoned. I didn't look up ammo. I didn't look up different kinds of guns. I didn't look up gun technology. I used to do that in high school. I didn't do any of it, and I started to because of Keanu Reeves. Really,
Okay. And you watched Ballerina, which is
yeah,
like a spin-off. Is John Wick
yeah,
still in that?
yes. Actually, the best part of the movie, in my opinion, the girl she gets a hit put on her where she is basically the organization that adopted her has a truce with the organization that killed her dad, and she's absolutely wiping out the organization that killed her dad. The organization that adopted her says you need to stop, otherwise we're going to be in fire and there's going to be a war. You have to stop. The organization that killed her dad, the head leader, is like, this is going to be a war unless you stop her. And the organization that adopted her said, it's okay, I'll take care of it. We're going to send an assassin to take her out. The assassin is John Wick, and John Wick gives her till midnight to either kill the guy that tried to kill her father or get assassinated. And there's a fight where she doesn't want to she doesn't want to be taken down by John Wick. She doesn't want to be stopped by John Wick. And so they get into a fight, and John is just wiping the floor with her. And I love it. It's absolutely freaking awesome. Something I did appreciate significantly about this movie is it actually gets into the challenges that women have when they're in a fighting situation, whether it's MMA, karate, whatever it is, versus men, and how you have to act differently and do different things to survive. Like in martial arts, they'll teach you if somebody's choking you and you have a knife to cut the rope. It's a practice that you'll do over and over again. And she does this in the movie. Like there's little things that she does that actual martial arts training will teach you to do. And she does it over and over and over again. She gets really close and does things with her elbows because if you're really close, the bigger arms that a guy has isn't as much of an advantage because you're close up. They do all of these little different things that are really smart details that made the movie better.
So this will go with like in the John Wick collection. This goes with your John Wick collection, or
Ye-
like
yes, but the like I was saying, John Wick is just better, and you have seen a lot of the same things again. So like, I'm glad I watched this once, but I would rather rewatch John Wick
that's fair.
if that makes sense. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Me too. Me too.
Good, good, good. Okay, we're gonna jump on over to our shared topic. This one was brought to you by Lauren, the badass Smith. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with you. Why don't you introduce it for us?
Okay, so this is Annabelle's Wish. This is a children's movie that I watched all the time during Christmas, and I forgot that there's a lot of music in this, and it's very country. Um,
Well, you
and
have a country artist as your main voice.
yeah, yeah, and I'm trying to think of the what the
Randy
girl.
Travis. Oh, wait, never mind.
Why can I not think of the female country artist that Alison Krauss sing?
Oh,
If it's not Alison Krauss, it's a sound alike because I didn't look this up, but I was like listening to it and I was like, "Is that Alison?" I love her. Um, but this is a show that follows this boy who can't speak after a traumatic event. of a barn was on fire, and he was like trying to help the animals in there. And after the barn burns down, he can no longer speak. Uh, and his aunt, which I think this is like the funniest villain ever. She wants to have a kid for like the Christmas experience, to like wrap the whole Christmas experience in one. Um and so she's like, "Where to get a child? Oh right. My brother had a child. I'll just go take that one." And so um, she is trying to get this mute boy to go live with her so she can have Christmas with a child. And Santa Claus comes during Christmas Eve, and part of Santa's magic is he lets animals speak for one day a year, which is on Christmas. And so you have this mute boy who ends up getting this Christmas calf as like his Christmas present from Santa, and they become best friends. And this Christmas calf, she saw the reindeer that Santa brought. So all year around, she's like, "Oh my gosh, I want to fly like a reindeer." So that's my wish when Santa comes back around. If I'm being really good, I'm going to become a reindeer. And she tells like the mute boy this. And it's the mute boy also has a really, I said Alice or something? Emily is his like best friend. And she's just like this firecracker who like stands up for him all the time because he gets bullied. Anyway, so this mute boy, this little girl, and this calf end up being like best friends throughout the year. And Christmas comes around again, and you have the aunt come back, and she's like, "I have a loophole that he's in danger unless he can speak. Uh, I get to take him, and I get custody of him, and this farm is just too dangerous for him." Um, well, Santa comes to Annabelle, the cow, and he's like, "Okay, well, I'm here for your wish." And they're like, "Oh, she hasn't been thinking about anything else." And you go back to the mute boy. He goes to go open his presents for Christmas, and there's nothing. And he says, he's like, "Grandpa, there's nothing in here." And then they're like, "Oh my gosh, you can speak. That means you have to stay here." And so he runs off to go tell his best friend Annabelle, because he knows she can speak because it's Christmas, to tell her that he can speak and he's gonna stay and he doesn't have to go live with his aunt. Well, Annabelle gave up all of her Christmases of speaking so that he could speak, and it was like a cute little like, oh, she gave up her dream to like help him. And then it kind of like skips forward into the future, and Annabelle's old, and he's like worried about her and goes out to see where she's at, and she like collapses in the snow. But Santa comes along and does a Christmas miracle, and he's like, "Because of your selflessness and like you gave you all of your wishes to like this boy to be able to speak," he's like, "I'm gonna make you one of my reindeer." And so Annabelle's wish comes true, and everything's all nice and shiny. And there's some other things that happen that I didn't say, but like everything gets wrapped up in a pretty little bow in this in this animation. I just thought it was always so wholesome. I like the music in it. Um, I had a little stuffed Annabelle calf where there's sticks tied on her head. I was super sick one year, and somebody doorbell ditched our house with that because that was my favorite Christmas movie. And like I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's a miracle. Who would know about this movie?" I'm like, "I'm the only one that I know that knows about that was Santa or something." And so like this, yeah, this movie has like very much nostalgia. I think it's just very wholesome. What did you guys think?
I would love to hear what you think we're gonna say about this.
I would
I
too.
do not think that you. I think I think Josh might think it's wholesome. I think Conlon's gonna say he wish he liked it, but he doesn't.
Okay.
Okay, Conlon, is she right or is she wrong?
She is so wrong. I love this movie.
Oh, good.
Love it. So Randy Travis is I'm a huge fan of Randy Travis.
Mm.
Forever and Ever Amen is literally one of my favorite songs. If I did a top 10 song, it would probably get on the list. I'm a huge fan of Randy Travis. And I don't know how I didn't know about this movie. I didn't know about it. Um, it's very wholesome. It's very cute. I really like the music. I like the art. I like the aunt who's like cartoon villainish to the max. Is fantastic. Um, I think Annabelle is really enjoyable. I like the. I think I was talking to Sid because we watched this together. I think the voice is acting is so funny because they obviously got a voice actor to do the voices of all the animals because they don't get like a neigh. It's obviously like a dude just going neigh, and I think it's hilarious. Um, I'm going to say some negatives, but I actually found all of them weirdly charming. So the sound effects are not matched with the movie at all. There's a part where they're hitting the hammer, and it's like the hammer's here, and it goes knock, and then it hits, and then it's like knock, and it doesn't match at all. Like it is so far off. But I don't really care. It was so charming. Um, I don't understand how the animals getting a voice is a good Christmas present because you're like, you can't talk with the humans. And could you guys not talk together? So are you stuck in a barn without being able to talk to each other for a full year? That sounds like torture. That sounds awful. I don't understand how that's such a good present, but I also don't really care. I just enjoyed the movie. But I had these thoughts going through my head the entire time. I was like, this is making no sense. This makes no sense at all. But I don't care. It's super enjoyable at the end of the movie where Annabelle is just this old lady. They shift to where they're older and our main character and main girl, they've gotten together, they're married. And I'm just like, oh, Grandpa's dead, isn't he? Grandpa's gone.
Well, they're living in his farmhouse now. It'd be kind of
Yeah.
weird if he wasn't.
I was like, and Annabelle's the old lady, and Annabelle's gonna die. What did they make me watch? This is like old Yeller again. I can't do it.
He's just sleeping in the other room.
Um, but Annabelle like goes and she's hobbling out, and I didn't take it as she wanted to be a reindeer. I took it as she wanted to be a cow that flies. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's like where my head was. So when they just made her a majestic, pretty reindeer, I was actually a little unsatisfied by that.
Mm.
Even though I really still I love this movie. Like these are little issues. Because I wanted to see her just like as a cow that flew and like she got that opportunity versus all of a sudden you're a reindeer. It would have been a little bit better for me. All little nitpicks. Very magical movie. Very enjoyable. I had a wonderful time.
Good.
It is something that I would recommend.
I'm glad. I will be honest, I didn't care much for this movie.
I had it wrong. I had it backwards.
I don't have anything big criticisms of it. There isn't any big plot lines. I think the best thing that came out of this was the Randy Travis and What's Her Bucket duet that happens like 2/3 of the way through.
It's really good.
That song is awesome. I think that the relationship between the mute kid and the girl is absolutely adorable. And I was like, oh man, I really want them to be, more than just friends eventually. And then they do, and you're like, yeah. You know what I did care about this movie? The animals at all. Did not care. I was like, okay, it's a cow. Okay, now it's a cow talking to a cow. I actually entirely missed that they could only talk to each other one day a year. I thought the gift was that they could talk because they kept talking about how like we can't talk in front of the humans, but then Annabelle does for the boy on accident, and then they're like, "Oh, but that's okay because he's a mute." And I was like, "I don't think that's how that works." Okay. So I totally missed that detail entirely. I thought that the gift was that they could talk to each other, period, and there was no limit on it. That they just couldn't talk in front of humans. But yeah, it's like I love the human characters. I love the villain. I love her arc. I love that she meets the ugliest cowboy of all time and sees that he has two kids and is like, well, hello at the end. That was the funniest part of the entire movie to me. was when she was like, "Hello, you're wearing a bow tie and you have children, so that's green flags for me." And I'm like, "What is this lady's issue?" Um,
I love when they're like, well, she finally got the kids she wanted for Christmas, and the kids got what they deserved.
It's
yeah,
great.
um, very very funny. I'm glad I watched it. It was a good watch, but this is not one that's going to come onto my rewatch list, and it's not one that I'm going to recommend. Um, I would way rather watch that Christmas or Klaus or, you know, dozens of other things. It's a good watch. I'm not mad that I watched it at all. Uh, Listen to that song. I will recommend that song all day long because it's great. But as a whole, it's just fine. It's just fine. I actually hate the ending. I find the ending completely unsatisfying because like I feel like part of Annabelle's thing was like I'm sacrificing this and learning to be comfortable with myself, and like I didn't get what Conlon's coming from because a lot of the stuff was him talking or her talking about how beautiful the reindeer are, and like that being a part of it, and like I was like, okay, so she's gonna learn about self-image and it's gonna be cute, and then she kind of does, and then at the end she's like, but she's gonna be a reindeer anyway. And you're like, oh, okay, all right, that's something that happened, I guess. Um, so yeah, parts of it I really liked, parts of it I didn't really like so much. It's fine. That's where I'll leave that.
That's fair.
Better than Black Panther.
Yes, it's better than Black Panther. I don't know if I'd rather rewatch Black Panther though.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like half this movie is animals, and none of the scenes with animals I actually cared about.
But
Like
the
we
owl's
got to
name
the
is
end.
Oliver.
Okay, that's fine. Uh, we get to the end, and Annabelle's like running off into the snow, and I'm like, why is she doing that? And then she gets hurt, and I'm like, serves you right. You had no business doing that. Like, what are you even doing? I get that she wants to see Santa, but Santa knows where the barn is. That's where she got her magical power to speak the first time. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Just didn't get super into it. It's good. It's it's good, but not my favorite. Sorry, Lauren.
It's fine. You can be wrong. It's fine.
So I wanted to ask something with this because we've gone through both episodes and we've talked kind of about country music, and sometimes you've been like, I don't really get into the country music, and sometimes you're like, I like it. And what is your thought, Lauren, on country music?
I blanket don't like country music. I like Alison Krauss. I like Brad Paisley.
And this one Randy Travis song.
And this one Randy Travis song because it's with Alison Krauss.
Okay. Okay.
So like
Solid.
I like a very specific type of country. But I don't know how to explain that to people because people are like, oh, you like country? And then I'm like wanting to rip my head and like, oh. So I don't like most country, and I don't know what to explain of the country I do like, other than like Alison Krauss and most of Brad Paisley. I really like.
Okay.
But yeah.
Interesting, because I feel like Brad Paisley is a lot like other artists from that same time period.
Yeah. I couldn't name other ones.
What about like, uh, what's his name? Keith Urban, because I feel like Keith Urban.
I do like Keith Urban.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, but probably just select songs because it's so funny. I'll like be like, "Oh yeah, I like this artist," and people are like, "Oh, so you like this song?" I'm like, "Actually, no." So it's really hard for me to like tell you what I do like of country. So I just tell people I don't like it, and then closet
Okay.
listen to the country I do like.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So I feel like there's a time and a place for my country.
Fair enough. Can't
At
argue with
least
that logic.
you aren't a I just hate country altogether person because that drives me crazy. I'm like, everybody has a rap song that they like if you don't like rap. Everyone
Yeah,
has a country song even if you don't like country.
I come off as a I hate all country type of person because
You're wearing a horse shirt. No, you don't.
well, like when people like ask me, I just usually tell people no to country
Yeah,
because I have such a very specific taste in country.
cool.
I think with that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode. Thank you, anybody, for watching and or listening. I really appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do the things, share. Tell us how to be better. Tell us how to be worse. Tell us what your favorite Christmas animated Netflix movie is. Um, Next week, we're going to be watching The Lake House, starring whoever it was that stars in John Wick. Uh, he's also in it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we're going to be
Keanu
watching that.
Reeves?
Keanu
Yeah,
Reeves.
that's his name. That's his
Okay.
name. Thank you. Uh, so if you want to watch along with us, feel free to do so. Let us know if you have any other suggestions of stuff we should watch. And remember to be better today than yesterday.
Bye.